one nation,
indivisible,
go ahead.
with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, I should have called the meeting to order first. Roll call.
Councilmember Haight,
Here.
Councilmember Pruitt,
Here.
Councilmember Masters,
Yes.
Councilmember Scramblett,
Here.
Councilmember Zerfing,
Excused.
Councilmember Benson,
Here.
and Mayor Fisher.
Here,
So at this point, I guess I'm going to be running the meeting since George isn't here. The amendments to the agenda that we have a letter in support of the Port's Beach Enhancement Project to add on to the consent agenda, as well as the approval of the attorney's bill. I don't know if you want that in the consent agenda or if you want to discuss that, because it puts us over our limit, but not over, it puts us over our line. Huh?
I'd like to pull.
Okay, so we'll put that under unfinished business then. And then we will not be voting on Resolution 1206 and 1207 tonight.
okay,
No public hearings, and we have Dave Eatwell here to make a presentation. You're up.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm not really here to make a presentation. I'm here primarily to introduce myself to those members I've not met and presented to before. I'm the Economic Development Director for the West Columbia Gorge Consortium, and we serve the cities of Cascade Locks, Fairview, Wood Village, and Troutdale. We provide economic development services to those four cities. This came about through an agreement and a 3-year contract between among the cities and the state of Oregon. It's supported partly by funds from the participating cities and a sizable grant from the state of Oregon. So my job, I work with the port and individual businesses, and work primarily in finding those industries and those efforts that are going to be most effective for developing jobs and investment, private investment in your infrastructure, both commercial and industrial. So I've already met with Peter Herring, your hired marketing person for tourism, and we're working on putting together a committee of hoteliers in the area to develop tourism. I personally also serve on the Oregon Investment Board, so I've helped the port in getting some grant funds for the EPA studies that need to be done for the mountain biking trail, things like that. So I wear a whole bunch of hats when it comes to Cascade Locks, but quite frankly, it's one of the things I'm passionate about. I think the potential here is really great, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. So I'm just here to introduce myself. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I'll then do my own part in making this a short and sweet meeting.
Anybody have any questions? You get off easy.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll come back before too long with a nice plump project.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any comments by the general public on any item of interest that's not going to be discussed on the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, does anybody have a declaration of potential conflict of interest? Hearing none, we'll go on to the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, we have approval of the minutes of February 7th, 2011 council meeting, approval of the minutes of February 28th, 2011 council meeting, approval of minutes of March 2nd, 2011 special council meeting, Ratification of the bills in the amount of $115,110.80, and approval of a letter in support of the Port's Beach Enhancement Project, and it's a really short letter, so I can read it really quickly. It's, Dear Senators Wyden and Merkley, the City of Cascade Locks is pleased to support the Port of Cascade Locks 2011 Water Resources Development Act Ecosystem Restoration Project submittal on the Columbia River at Cascade Locks. The purpose of the Cascade Locks Beach Enhancement Project is to restore the native beach and riparian shoreline, as well as restore properly functioning aquatic conditions above the Bonneville Pool in Cascade Locks. Through beach enhancement activities, the proposed project will also increase safety for small sailing craft in the Bonneville Pool, reduce the need for dredging, and enhance fish habitat and endangered species survivability. Lance?
Is there gonna be opportunity for comment or discussion when we move to approve these? Usually there's a motion and a second and then a discussion.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I don't have anything.
So I need a,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
it's been motioned by Lance Masters, seconded by Kevin Benson. Is there any discussion? Lance?
So, I read through the minutes and we had a request at the last meeting to make the minutes from the February 7th meeting verbatim. And so I just wanted to ask the question, how long did that take?
It took.
I'm assuming you did it?
Actually, I had
Sue
Deputy
did it.
Recorder do it, and she said it took 4 days.
So,
And she didn't work on it consecutively, she worked a little bit, did something else, worked a little bit, did something else.
so 4 days, that means 32 hours. Well, I wanted to say thank you to her for doing that. I read through the minutes, the verbatim version and the non-verbatim version, and they were definitely longer when they were verbatim. But I didn't see a whole lot of difference other than that, so. Just wanted to say thanks to her for spending the time on that.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Okay, we've had a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. So motion passes. Unfinished business will be the approval of the attorney's bill of $5,710.96. Kevin?
I just had a question, since we're finished in that, or we've used up that budgeted amount for the attorney bill, what we're gonna do to pay for the rest of this budget cycle?
It will come out of the same line item, but if the category goes over, before the categories go over, I need to come back to you for a transfer of some type.
And how long do you foresee that will take?
I think that I will have to be back probably first of April. It all depends on, we don't get his bill until around March 20th, so I will know at that time about what that's gonna be, if that's gonna throw us over in the category or not.
So, based on this bill, and 4 months left to pay for, that's $20,000. Do we have $20,000 available to cover 4 more attorney bills like this?
I would have to investigate that. It'd probably have to come out of contingencies. Most of the funds have enough money. There are funds that their category limit is enough to cover the attorney bills. General fund is one of them that probably will not have enough. It all depends on how much the attorney bills are going to run.
So, could we get maybe an idea of the next meeting, what the total is we have left available without?
You mean in each category?
Yeah.
Basically, because
I mean,
each each line item is already over expended.
Well, I mean, some of the attorney bill is discretionary, some of it isn't. So if we could get an idea of what's the maximum amount we can spend, so we don't end up with a problem at the end of the budget cycle, I think that would be good information to have. I mean, it's up to the rest of the council if they're interested in it too, but I certainly would be.
Jen,
I'm done.
go ahead, Lance.
Well, I agree, the more information is better when you're talking about going over budget. So the more information, the better. So I would agree with that, there's two. But, the question was, I guess I'll take a stab at assuming here that this is a higher than normal bill.
No.
If it's not higher than normal, then, I mean, I'm thinking back to the budget process last year where we created that line item. Any idea what went wrong?
Well, we are analyzing it right now.
Okay,
I can't stab
No,
at that.
okay.
I can't stab at that until I go through the bills and figure out whether it was, the easements that we did, what issues caused the bill to go over. I don't dare
Right.
interpret that yet.
but that's in process.
That is in process.
So-
And is it possible that we'd have that by next
Yes, you
meeting as
would.
well?
I just couldn't get it in by
Sure,
then.
sure, yeah, I understood.
Yeah.
So a consensus to, what it,
For the staff time to do that?
yes.
I would like it. We need 2 more.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, George, do you agree with that?
For both of those things?
Uh,
Or just the limit?
Are we agreeing to accept the ratification of the bill,
No,
of the bill?
we're asking for staff to spend time on what went wrong, why we're over our limit, and how we're going to pay for future bills.
Will there be any impact if we do not pay before the next council meeting?
I think that we're not talking about the bill just yet. We're asking for future budget information for the next council meeting, so when we get the next bill, we'll know what direction we need to go. We'll do the bill in a
Oh,
minute.
okay, I understand. I agree.
Okay. So,
I would move to approve paying the attorney bill for the month of February.
yes, yes.
Second?
So it's been moved by Kevin, seconded by Lance, to approve the attorney bill in the amount of $5,710.96. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, next we go into new business. We have approve an expenditure for not more than $15,000 to utility systems and applications for a current transformer metering installation audit. Is Tracy gonna be here for that? No?
No, he said, he thought it was pretty self-explanatory and something that they have to do.
This is pretty much a yearly.
It's all for 3 or 4 years.
It's not a
Every-
yearly.
It's 3 to 4 years.
audit.
So I need a motion and a second.
I make a motion to approve the funding of the electric meter to the audits.
Audits.
Second.
It's been moved by Don Haight, seconded by Kevin Benson. Is there any more discussion?
And so with that motion, do you have to have the dollar amount? It
Yeah.
talks about no more than $15,000 here. You want that in the motion, or?
Yes, probably should have, yes.
Does Kevin,
Not exceed
15,000?
15,000,
Okay.
but they're saying it's gonna be 12.
okay. All those in favor of approving the expenditure?
Aye.
Aye.
Takes care of that.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Next, we have authorized interim city administrator Carson to sign contract with Gorge Security Shred for shredding services.
Basically, just to let you know, this was a local company that we found out about when Tri-County Hazard came and did their presentation. It's not a lot different than who we're using now, except they're local, so we thought it would be better to use a local company.
Sounds good to me.
I need a motion and a second then.
I'll make a motion to authorize the interim city administrator Carson to sign a contract with Gorge Security Shred for shredding services.
Second?
Motion's been made by Lance Masters, seconded by Tom Cramlett. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None. Wow, okay. Mayor and council comments. I don't think, my goodness. Kevin? You mean,
No, fine, thanks.
Tom?
I'm good, thanks.
Lance?
Well, first of all, I found out that over the course of this last week, over 5 days, our volunteers have conducted 6 transports, interfacility transports from Hood River to Portland. And on a personal note, I don't know if it was our guys doing it or not. I know that one of my colleagues has a pregnant wife, and she had to be transported from Hood River to Portland with a complication. And so that's very real to me. It's important that we were able to step up for those. Additionally, I know that that's a revenue generating function of our department. Since council has found that we're no longer able to fund the on-call paramedic position to do those transports, I think it's just great news that the volunteers have done that and have stepped up and have generated revenue for the Emergency Services Fund, which needs it. So to me, it's a spirit of volunteerism. It's alive. They're stepping up. I did want to recognize Tom because I know since I've been on council, he's been championing the cause of volunteer recruitment and retention in the fire department, which probably doesn't happen. We don't get all these transports done if we haven't increased our number of volunteers. So great for the volunteers, good for the fire chief who's been working hard to get more and more volunteers, and I think it's just a great situation. It will continue if the council is willing to support the training and certification of our volunteers, because that is a necessary component of being able to do the interfacility transport. So when I found that out, I thought, well, that's great. Glad those people are helping out. Thanks.
Anything else?
That'll do it for now.
Okay. Don?
Just a short comment. The last meeting, one of the members in the audience suggested that we study the billing process for our ambulance, and I'd like to thank her. It's a good idea, and I had been checking on it, and I've checked with Springdale, and one of our biggest problems is not getting them in on time. Some we were 6 and 7 months behind, and that's one of the biggest problems in getting your payment. And then generally, it's hard to collect the amount you're billed if it gets that far behind. That's one thing. And then, excuse me, there was also a comment that everything will be all right financially by April. Well, from the information that I have, everything won't be all right April. And that's one of the things that when I ran for the council that I was very concerned about, was the financial stability of not only our country, but our city. And we still have $450,000 of not only unfunded, but it's 2 years old, and according to the resolution, it has to be paid in 3 more years. So we're not out of the woods yet. And then we still have another, $24,280 that is also not funded that we've got to start thinking about. It was not in the budget to be paid. It's still not in the budget. And that's what I was talking about when I'm concerned about our budget. I wasn't trying to scare anybody, but I think we have to think about what we have to do to keep our heads above the water. That's all I have.
Okay. George, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to, Kevin brought up a good point earlier. I think that we do need to review the Balgenic contract before the budget season gets started. And then also, I'm wondering if we need to do a new appraisal on the fire hall before the budget, because we have a lot of money based on the sale of the value of that piece of property. And and the market has, crashed in recent years. So I'm wondering if at some point in time in the future we need to discuss whether or not to do a new appraisal on that property. Kevin?
It's crashing.
Kevin?
On that, I actually had some discussion about that particular thing today, and I think we need to discuss whether, with the way the real estate is, the market is, the difficulty is gonna be to sell that property, and what we're gonna get in exchange for it, that we might consider keeping it and budgeting to pay the $450,000. Whether that property has more value as a city asset than what we could get it for, what the cash we could get in return for it. There is a park on it, it's the parking lot, and maybe we can move City Hall down there. Who knows? And I would be a lot more customer friendly than this place ever will be,
Right.
as far as being on one floor and parking and the whole deal, so. It's something to consider now. If we're only gonna get a couple $100,000 out of it, that it might be a better asset to keep.
So do we need to give staff direction on no, or just no?
I don't think
I don't think so, yeah.
really
Not
came
yet.
out of-
Okay.
out of comments.
And then also, I'd like to let everybody know that Senior Potlatch is going to have their corned beef meal on Thursday. Everybody's welcome to come. It's $3.50 a person. It'd be good to have whoever come down there at noon. And I'm sorry, we completely started this meeting without introducing Mr. Carson at his first council meeting, so.
Fine with me.
So now we're on staff notes. Do you have anything you want to say?
Nope.
Kathy?
Don't think so.
Mary Ann? Okay, well, we have no televised workshop, we have no executive session, so I'm open for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion's been made by Kevin, seconded by Don. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
They're all this short.
All right,
Yeah, really.
talk to you later, George.
Thanks. Bye.
That makes up for